Hey, what's up, people? I just want to say this real quick. I was inside the grocery store and I was talking with God. And I was saying, life hard. That's what I was saying. I was saying that, and I was like, life hard. And, I heard the Spirit say to me, yeah, it is. And this is what, as I was talking to God, this is what He dropped in my spirit. He said, a lot of times what our problem is, we not patient. We don't give God enough time to work it out. We always say, put it in God's hands. But realistically, when we put it in God's hands, the moment it start working out, we take it back out of His hand. Haven't you done that when you was a kid? Like, you might not have been able to do something, you might ask your brother or somebody for help. And when they was able to do it, you immediately take over again to proceed to what you was already doing. I remember when we was little, man, sometimes I couldn't pass a level on a video game, and I would have to give it to my brother and say, hey, you do it. And he could figure out a way to do it. And after he passed that one part, I said, okay, give it back to me now. I'll take over from here. That's what God showed me in the Spirit. A lot of times we ask God and we say, we gonna put it in God's hand. And when we put it in God's hand, the minute it starts working out, the minute that the situation we put in God's hand start to get better, before God finish with it, we take it back from Him and say, here, God, I got it from here. Thank you. Here, God, I got it from here. But He ain't done yet. A lot of times, God is not through working on the situation that you gave Him. And you take it out of His hand because it started looking better than it did when you gave it to Him. We got to learn to be patient and allow God to finish the process rather than to give it to Him, and the moment that situation starts looking better, we take it back and we set ourselves back. A lot of times this is what we doing throughout life. We give God a situation, and once He starts fixing it, we take it back out before it's done. And therefore, when we get the situation, it's not done. It's not complete. So it set us back even worse, because sometimes we got to start all over again. Have you ever tried to cook a cake? And when you cook a cake, in the middle of it baking, if you take it out, it'll fall. And once it falls, it won't rise again. And you have to start all over from scratch. That's our problem with God. When God begins to rise our situation, before we can even get it worked out, we take it back and try to do it ourselves, and we mess up the whole process. When you give a situation to God, you have to give Him time to fix it. You got to be patient. You got to give Him time to fix it. Remember, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your path. In other words, you got to give it to Him and trust His process, because He know when it's done. You don't. As long as you lean into your own understanding, you gonna keep grabbing it, getting it back, grabbing it, getting it back, and you just setting yourself farther and farther back. You gotta trust God and trust Him to do it, because you can't do it. And every time you think you know what to do, God have a way of reminding you that you have to trust Him instead of your ways. Listen, it might look impossible, but that's more of a reason why you got to trust God, because God know how to make the impossible possible. And guess what? When you have exhausted all of your ways, when you don't know what to do, when God do it, you'll know it was Him that did it. You don't want to know why? Because everything you tried to do didn't work. We gotta trust and depend on God, and we gotta do it. We know we ain't gotta learn, we just gotta do it. And when you give it to God, stop taking it back. Give it to Him and let Him work it out. That's what the Spirit said to me when I was in the store a while ago. And that's what I wanted to share with the people on today. God already got it worked out. He already got it figured out. You just got to leave it in His hands and quit taking it out once you give it to Him. If you give God something to work out, stop taking it back, because you can't fix it. Only He can. God bless you.